Hi guys, has Ed Davey been watching my videos? Because he's repeating here some of the things that I've been saying about how Nigel Farage wants to emulate Donald Trump. Now, he was speaking at the Liberal Democrat conference, of course, where instead of focusing his attack on the Conservatives and Labour, instead he released both barrels on Nigel Farage and Reform. And I'll explain why in just a moment. Have a listen.
Farage's Britain, where we would pay Putin for expensive fossil fuels and destroy our beautiful countryside with fracking while climate change rages on. That is Trump's America. Don't let it become Farage's Britain. Where gun laws are rolled back, so schools have to teach our children what to do in case of a mass shooting. Trump's America. Don't let it become Farage's Britain. Where social media barons are free to poison young minds with impunity. Trump's America. Don't let it become Farage's Britain. Where the government tramples on our basic rights and freedoms unconstrained by the European Convention on Human Rights. Where Andrew Tate is held up as an example to young men, where racism and misogyny get the tacit support of people in power, where everything is in a constant state of chaos. That is Trump's America. Don't let it become Farage's Britain.
Well said. Okay. As I said, repeating some of the things that I've been saying about Nigel Farage, attempting to copy and paste MAGA positions and policies into the UK. And he's already begun before he became Prime Minister. Now, it's interesting because Ed Davey here is attacking Farage, and he's not going after the Conservatives and he's not going after Labour. He mentioned Keir Starmer, I think, twice in this speech, as opposed to about 30 times referring to Nigel Farage and Reform. Now, why is he doing that? Because Reform are replacing the Conservatives. So the Liberal Democrats' main challenger, of course, is the Conservatives. They would be going after the Conservatives normally. But because Farage has replaced them, at least for now, unless Boris Johnson comes back, it makes sense to go after Farage. Now, of course, he should be also going after the Conservatives. He should be going after Labour. But he knows that there is a real opportunity for him to win over people who are generally voting for the Conservatives, who are considering voting for Reform, but not completely convinced about Nigel Farage. So he can sell this idea, look, don't go to Farage, don't go to Reform. This is what he represents. It's interesting that he brought up this point about gun laws. Farage mentioned back in 2014 how the gun laws in Britain are too strict and they should be changed. Of course, since then, we've seen mass shootings in the United States. So, it's a good idea to link that idea from Farage to what's happening in the United States and how Farage wants to emulate the United States so much and emulate Donald Trump so much. How he also brought up the point, of course, how Nigel Farage wants to leave the European Convention on Human Rights, which of course would strip away protections for British people. It's having a state that doesn't respect the rule of law, doesn't respect ordinary people's right to protections under the ECHR. This is something like what Donald Trump is doing in the United States, ending due process, using his power to influence the media, using his power and his friends within social media to corrupt the country. And of course, this is what Nigel Farage would love to do as well. Farage wants to emulate the United States. He wants to emulate the United States under Donald Trump. And we've seen what Donald Trump has been doing. And this has not convinced Nigel Farage in any way to take a step back and go, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. No, he wants to do it because he admires Trump in the same way as Trump admires Putin. It would be a disaster if Nigel Farage becomes Prime Minister. And I think what we're going to see going forward, hopefully, is an attempt to create some sort of coalition, maybe Labour Party with the Liberal Democrats, or the Labour Party with the Greens, or the Labour Party with the Greens and the Liberal Democrats, to stop Farage. Now, whether they'll succeed or not, I don't know. I keep coming back to the point that it's the responsibility of the government to improve the situation for ordinary people. And if they are able to do that and communicate that they have done that, this would be the best way to stop Nigel Farage. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.